Okay, welcome to the Fantasy Hotline.
Where we talk about your wildest fantasies.
Elves, dragons, gnomes, and weird systems of money.
We're your hosts, Claire.
And I'm Chris.
I started laughing because I thought about how they talk on Love Island.
Oh, me. Yeah, it's good banter.
It's good, proper chat.
Could you imagine if it cut to a scene in Love Island and they're having the exact same conversation that
we're having?
That we eventually have in one of these podcasts. It's just like, yeah, and then Darrow took over Mount Olympus. And it was serious.
And I was like, right, mate.
Wait, are you watching the new Love Island?
No, I haven't started yet.
The American one?
No, I don't.
I saw a commercial.
Heard that's bad. I heard it was not good.
It's coming out in Hawaii.
I mean, I probably will see it, but I'm halfway through season 2, UK, and then the new season of Love Island I will probably try to watch when it comes out July 12th. Anyway,
I love it. It's just like, if this podcast catches on, people are like, what? Did you ever listen to Fantasy Hotline when they used to talk about fantasy novels? Oh, yeah, before they just talked about only Love Island.
Yeah, they're addicted to Love Island now.
Yeah, it just went on to Love Island, so whatever. So today's episode, we're talking about Red Rising.
Red Rising.
By Pierce Brown.
Okay, I keep thinking Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, Pierce Brosnan, the hottest.
He got
James
fired
Bond.
from the 007 franchise. He's like, you know what? I'm going to write a space opera.
Exactly. It's like,
quick.
I just keep thinking like Red Rising by Pierce Brosnan, actor. Mm-hmm. And now, author.
I mean, the author and Pierce Brosnan don't have a ton of dissimilarities. He's kind of got the little swoop.
Oh, I didn't look at a picture of him. Is he hot?
He's a cute boy, I think.
Pierce Brosnan, to me, is very hot.
Pierce Brown is this guy's name. He's kind of a cute boy.
Oh yeah, he is cute.
Yeah, he's got that.
He was at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm. I think this book is like it's got a lot of followers.
God, he's 33.
Yeah, this book was published when he was 23. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God.
Which when I first read it, I was like, oh, full adult man writing this, and then I found out it was 23. And now when I reread it this time, I was like, oh, he's so 23. And I know I'm only 6 years older than that, but there's some things that I would have written when I was in my early 20s there.
I mean, should we just get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
I really liked this book.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. The whole time I was...
There's a tear in Chris's eye right now.
A single tear. The whole time I was listening to it, I was like, oh, she's going to hate that part. Oh,
no.
That part. She's going to hate that. She's going to hate that character for sure. Can't believe they said that. Why would he say that? That's going to be so offensive for sure.
No. Come on, man. Give me some credit.
I do give you credit for sure.
But now I just got a little more.
Yeah, definitely.
You're like, she has short bangs and a nose ring.
Mm-hmm. But she isn't mad at the book.
You're judging me based on those things.
Yeah. She's got bangs and a nose ring, but she's not mad at a book. She's cool, man.
Yeah, actually I'm really freaking hip. Okay, what's your like one sentence summary?
A man is his good start.
Yeah. It's a man, period.
A young man's life is torn apart and he's given the chance to tear the system that tore his life apart. It's like a fantasy novel kind of, but with our shared history.
Yeah, so it's like humans have expanded all over the planet. There's no aliens or anything, which I was kind of like interesting. I wonder if they show up in the later books because this is the beginning of a trilogy. But it's a massively intense caste system.
Really intense.
And it's based on colors, which it's funny to me because I thought maybe he had the idea for this book. There's like a little, almost like a joke to a reader. You know, he's like, one character is cautioning Darrow, the main character, against doing something, and he's like, don't do that, it would be off color. And I'm like, that's such a funny turn of phrase. Like, I wonder if literally he just had a little exclamation point over his head and was like, what if I built a space opera around this funny little joke I have?
Off color, my God, there's nothing
people look at me colors and the different colors are bigger than the other colors.
I know, trying to imagine him explaining this to like a publisher, be like, okay, so he's a red, and at the top are golds, and then right under that are like silvers and obsidians, and then whites. There's whites.
Yeah. That's the only time we talk about race, baby.
That was so funny. Every color is like blue. There's blues and greens and violets and obsidians and brown.
Pinks.
Then there's whites and browns just thrown in there randomly.
I know that was something. I know. I mean, I'm curious on your take. Also, I read this book so fast that I could have missed some of the character descriptions, but it really felt like the race was not discussed whatsoever.
No. They like mention casually. They'll be like, "Oh, he had copper skin color." Like,
Yeah.
like Tactus is a character, and they kind of like quickly are like, "And Tactus is black." Moving on. Like,
Or like, you know, some character has coiled hair, and I'm like, okay, they have like braids in or something like that.
yeah, they don't. It's like past all that. It's more divided by like, because every human is genetically modified. Basically.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
So like, there's no robots. Humans are just serving every layer of mechanical possibilities. Like, so like reds are like mining tools basically, and then like your blues, they're like pilots and robot.
Your color determines
humans.
everything about you.
Yeah.
The job you can have, like your role in society. It's just like a really intense caste system, basically.
Yeah. And at the top of it are golds, which
Yes.
are like these weird sycophants who've just decided that their whole space society is going to model ancient Rome, Greece.
Yes, there's so much. Everyone's named like Antonia or Cassius or whatever.
I know, or like,
Did you read Greek myths growing up?
not a whole lot, no. But this book, actually, when I read this book, I ended up reading Greek mythology
Oh, interesting.
more after that. Yeah.
When I was a kid, my parents would always read the Deleuze's book of Greek myths to me, and then it was like a picture book, and I also had it on tape, and it was just so good, and like the illustrations are really beautiful.
I
And
never
then
read that.
you should check it out. I mean, I feel like it was pretty popular, but it's also funny because it's like, yes, then Athena slayed all his sons for the offense of looking at her, or like Artemis, blah, 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 you know. So it's like it's violent in the sense it's like storybook violence, you know, it's not like in depth, but people are getting murdered, and like Zeus is like he wouldn't leave the water nymph alone, you know, like
He wouldn't leave him alone.
and then all of a sudden she had a kid. Weird.
Yeah.
But it's like very, very like it still has that. So I
cut out Zeus.
Yeah. Don't do that anymore,
Zeus.
man.
Yeah, Zeus. I've heard that about Zeus, that he's a bit of a philanderer.
Yes.
And doesn't. Yeah, he's a bad example to the youth.
Well, they're just like an intensely, like, I want to say patriarchal, but the women are, at this point in the society, they have the golds. The women of the golds are also like fighting and killing each other.
Yeah.
The gender seems to not hold anyone back.
Yeah, and they don't really care about if people are. I don't think they don't care about people being gay up at the top with golds. But reds are very like man, woman.
It was heteronormative
quickly. Yeah, and they explain more of that in the books. It's like a way of controlling them, where it's like when you're a gold, you're at the top, so you can do whatever you want all the time. There's pinks, which are basically a group of humans that are just
sex workers.
Basically.
I'm like, okay, he's 23. He's like, what's pink?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I know what that is.
Flesh. Flesh. Yeah. And so basically Darrow is at the very beginning, he goes through his wife gets killed in front of him, and then he does what you're not supposed to do, and he takes his wife's body down that's being hung up in the mine as kind of an example. And they're also all told so Darrow's a red at the very start.
Yeah, and red's the lowest color.
And they're like farmers and miners, and some of them are so like low that they don't even know that there's other like worlds. Like they're all fooled into thinking that they're like pioneers making Mars safe.
Yes. And so I would say the book kind of follows like this 3-act structure, I guess, or like this is how I thought about it in my head. It was like the first chunk is meeting Darrow, like intense perspective of like the red society, what it's like. The middle is like his transformation and going to the institute, and the end is like the passage to the game.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
So I loved like learning about the mining culture, and it's like not only are the golds oppressing them by making them do all this work, they're being told that they have this like myth, essentially, like a Greek myth, that they are the pioneers for society, and they are mining all this stuff so that humanity can expand to the surface.
Yeah, because Earth is ruined and they all need to expand to Mars. But then Darrow, long story short, Darrow has his death faked for him. Basically,
he becomes a pawn.
Yeah, they end up rebirthing Darrow and carving him is the term into they is this movement called the Sons of Ares, which is
kind of cool because you get like the Greek versus Roman nomenclature of the gods.
Yeah, he's kind of willy nilly with that. They bleed.
It's not so strict.
If you don't know the delineation, which I don't, I'm just kind of like
I'm a scholar.
They're all Roman Greek people. Sorry, that was probably offensive. Anyway, that was offensive to the
ancient
Rome
has
Romans.
kind of ancient in front of it,
Yeah.
so I think you're good.
There's someone in 500 AD Rome
Really
going,
mad.
how dare he?
Really mad.
But anyway, so he's carved into, which means he's like genetically modified and surgically enhanced into a gold. So he goes from the bottom tier to the top tier, and his mission from the Sons of Ares is tear the whole society apart.
Yeah.
Get in there, become a leader of their society, and then
We're gonna blow it up.
and then we're gonna blow it up somehow.
I thought it was a really interesting world building. Like, it felt really original and different from other fantasy novels that kind of follow this sort of like dystopian framework, like like being in space and you know, the lies that they're getting told, and also like all the tech and stuff like that. But I did feel like once he gets extracted by the Sons of Ares, so he's like he's drugged before he's hung,
Yeah, so it seems like he's killed.
and he
when
thinks he's dying too.
I don't
But
get
he-
how drugs can make a hanging not kill you. It seems very physical versus chemical, but
But doesn't his uncle like stop someone from pulling down his feet?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, this book is so dark. Like, I would say that's the biggest, like, the violence hits you right away.
Yeah.
Like, people are getting like whipped. They're
Yeah.
like, to die on Mars, like your loved ones like have to pull on your feet.
yeah, because if you get hung, it's the gravity's too low and it kills you for like 5 minutes or something. So if you like, as an act of mercy to your family member, you go and you pull their ankles down to snap their
So
neck.
fucking grim,
Yeah,
dude.
super grim. So anyway, he has to do that to his wife
Yeah, oh my god.
at the very beginning, and then basically he's as a gold. You go into this thing called the Institute, which is like only elite of the elite get invited to go to this like basically war school.
Yeah, it's to become a peerless scarred. And so it's like they value beauty so much, but if you're the top of a gold, you carry one single scar on your face.
Down your cheek. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is kind of badass.
Pretty badass.
Cool.
Yeah. So they're all trying to earn their scars, is what the term is for it.
And wait, we have to talk about something really important, which is his wife is killed,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Sons of Ares hacks the system and broadcasts her. She's killed because she's taking the punishment, and then she starts singing this song.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the miners like song, and it's a band song, and it's like all about like
yeah. It's an illegal song, and it's all about like breaking the chains.
yes. And so she sings it on national or like global or interstellar television.
Yeah, yeah,
And it gets broadcast, and so she becomes a martyr.
And a big symbol, and then Darrow, is basically forced to carry out her dream, because the whole time he's like, I just want to be like a miner and have
Like, I love you
kids,
so much.
and I don't want to do anything complicated. And she's kind of like, no,
Babe.
break
Babe.
babe, break the chains, babe.
Babe, we
And-
gotta break the chains.
Babe,
Babe.
yeah, live for more, babe.
Yeah, come on, babe.
And then, basically Darrow is forced to adopt this dream, and he goes into the Institute, which is all these golds versus all these golds. So it's like, it basically turns into like genetically modified Hunger Games.
Yes. Okay. So this is what I was so curious to talk to you about, because the book was like, I was like, yes, this is so great. And then I felt
know.
like there's this moment where he's in getting carved, and they're genetically modifying him. He's learning all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you're getting a lot of exposition about what the world is like, sort of, or what's going to happen to him. But the plot to me started to kind of fall flat. Like, I kind of felt like, oh, I've been here before.
Yeah, I know.
Like, this is when Katniss goes to
I
tour the
know.
other like
Completely.
whatever districts, and
Yeah.
then I looked it up, and this book came out 2 years after Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously he read this and was like, what if there's a guy? No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No,
Pierce, I'm kidding.
I do agree that it's, so I really like this whole series, but this is like always the hurdle. Like, this
Yeah.
book is the worst book in the series. He wrote it when he was younger, and it's just, it's very Hunger Gamesy, and very like there's Hogwarts, just the whole school teenager.
It gets tropey, sort of.
It gets really tropey really quickly, but it's like, but it's like it's darker than Hunger Games probably
Yes.
is, and there's like more of the, again, trigger warning. There's rape and stuff. And
It's like I was thinking about Beth Stelling has a great joke on her special where she like. Part of it is like she just says the word rape, like rape, like in a Scottish accent. She's like, it's just easier, and I'm like, yeah, she's right. It's so funny.
In this one it's there too, but I feel like the big if the third main character in Oathbound was the R word, then this one it's slavery. I feel like they're all like, the whole end game of the Institute is you become what's called Primus, and everyone's divided into 12 houses, and Darrow's put into the Mars house, which is based off the Mars god, not the planet.
Yeah.
And all the houses are based off of Roman myths now, like Diana and Mars and Juno and Pluto and Apollo. And so everyone's divided into these houses. Each house has like a proctor, which is a purely scarred who was already in that house during their time at the Institute. And so I almost said Severo. So basically a bunch of cast of characters are introduced in Mars. Severo is one of the main.
Yeah, I love him.
He's really cool. Cassius is pretty cool at first, and Roque, and
there's just like a ton.
Yeah, there's so many names.
And so it also, this part, like I would say that it gets, for me, the book picked back up again when they get into the Institute, because he has to murder, he's put in a room and he's not allowed to leave until someone dies. And it's like him and a weaker person. And so they have one day that's like all fun and games at the Institute.
And they like show him around.
And it's like, la la la, you're going to learn stuff here.
Yeah, and then
it's not like that.
And then immediately everybody is matched up in a dark room against somebody else, and so 50% of the people are killed immediately by their fellow students. It's called the Passage.
And so,
that
of course,
strips them of innocence immediately.
Yes, and this is kind of like a fun, like, not fun, but like, you know, as a Red, Darrow has already experienced so much pain and trauma that he's kind of like mentally prepared for this in a way the others are not. But he has to kill like this sweet kid who we've been introduced to in the book, and it was really sad to me when he had to kill Julian. I was like, oh my god. And then we also find out that Julian is Cassius's brother.
Yeah, and Cassius is like already pegged as like, oh, that guy's he's a badass. Like he's like,
he's front. So Cassius essentially is also Darrow's friend, and so they kind of, you see like the way the power works is that everyone gets scarred. Everyone, you set up like the like intergenerational like feuds essentially by this for some reason.
Well, it's like a sick school to try to make leaders, but in that making leaders, they're trying to continue the feuds. You know what I mean? They're like,
yes,
this is like a leader school. We're trying to train the next leaders of our society here, but we also need to make sure that they have the same enemies we have. Like I agree. The Bolognas and the Augustuses all hate each other.
Yeah, what you kind of realize. Well, I'm excited to talk about this, but it's more towards the end, so I'm just gonna wait.
No, yeah. So anyway, they go through the passage, and House Mars is like, they keep repeating that their house is like always like a brutal house, but they never make it very far. And they show that immediately. There's this guy Titus, and he's like a horrible person. He's clearly like just kind of a psychopath. Yeah. He's doing some major Genghis Khan methods of war.
Yeah, and so this is where rape gets introduced like really intensely, which I thought was also like, I mean, it was kind of nuts. Like I didn't feel like bad reading it necessarily. He does not go into details, but it's like very clear. Like he's basically, as part of the war game, you can kidnap other people and make them your slave. He's doing when his faction is doing that, they're like raping essentially their peers. I was like, God, this is like, I mean, and it's made it clear that Titus is like specifically the instigator of this. It's not necessarily like a common thing that has happened. It's like, he's disgusting.
Yeah, like the house is split between Titus and Darrow's kind of like hey, we're brutal and ruthless, but we're doing it with some honor. Yeah. And then Titus is like, no rules. We do whatever we want. There's spoils of war. You take your spoils of war. You're a bad person. You win this by being the worst.
Yes. And the conflict here I did not mind. I thought this was like, as a plot point, was interesting, but it took so fucking long to resolve. There was like these, whatever chapter from when they get there until they finally kill Titus took way too long.
Almost
for me.
Too long for that, because it
was so confusing.
It was so unimportant to the overall.
Yeah.
To unite his house, and then he went on to like have to fight full other houses, and had like.
It didn't even matter. He couldn't even unite his house.
Yeah.
Because they ended up. I just felt like, okay, like this is just the momentum like totally died for me there, and also he's introducing like, you know, all these terms like low draft, high draft, like ion sword, this thing, it's this. I was like, at that point, I just was like, I'm not paying attention to what any of these weapons are, because they're like, telling you 15 different ones every page.
And because there's more important, less important at the same time. Like he gets bogged down by a lot of details, I feel like. He also does like nicknames of groups of like
Yes.
he's like, they're the Howlers and the Bloodbacks
Yeah, it's like,
and the Dead Horses and like and the Mustangs and
it's like I looked at a tree and those are I looked at the tree guys. Like,
yeah,
it's just
like,
everyone.
There's too many cool little squadron names.
Yeah.
I get that that's really cool and fun and like makes your book feel more badass, but it's also like I'm really tired.
I know.
I can't keep track of all this.
So eventually what happens is that Darrow's betrayed in like a really obvious trap. This is also kind of part of the time where I was like, okay, you're not trusting anybody, but then all of a sudden you're like trusting everyone.
Yeah.
And also, okay, what did you think about this? In the beginning, they're like, you don't need to kill the other people. You can enslave them. Like, you should not be killing people.
Right.
Medbots will come no matter what.
Yeah.
And by the end of this book, I'm like, they have killed everyone.
Everyone, yeah, they're like yeah.
Everyone is getting killed all the time. I was like,
I know.
So it's kind of like, why
He's
even say there was an inconsistency that I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, keep going. You were talking about you were advancing us through the plot.
Oh yeah, okay. So Darrow gets betrayed, almost murdered. Guess who saves him? This girl named Mustang, who he's met earlier, and they took over her house. But
he's betrayed by Cassius, by the way.
yes, important.
There's a lot of build up, and Cassius and Darrow become really close. And then Cassius finds out through the Proctors that the Proctors kind of cheat and show Cassius a video of Darrow killing his brother. And Cassius is like, well, I trusted you. Like, you made me think someone else killed Julian, and now I've got to kill you. So he stabs him, and then, Darrow's nursed back to health by Mustang. Oh, sorry.
Which I think to me introduces like maybe this is like overthinking it, but Darrow's whole thing and what the journey he goes on from this point when he becomes like an outcast of the game, like, and meets up with other people who have like left their houses or whatever.
Yeah, because if you get captured and not killed, you're made into a slave.
Yeah.
And some people are like, fuck that, I'm not being a slave either, and they just escape.
And they run away. And their whole thing is they start to unite through like common sense of purpose. And they get mad at the system. They don't get mad at other people. And so the big difference there is Cassius, what if he had been in the room with Julian? He would have to kill his brother too.
I know.
So it's like Cassius is more feeble-minded or whatever. I don't know if that was ableist, but he's getting mad at Darrow for doing what he had to do, the choice the system made him make that Cassius also had to make, instead of getting mad at the system that would put his brother in that position.
Cassius is just like he's very simple, black and white.
Yeah.
Like he's good. He's very much a good and evil, still believes in fairy tales type of guy. So if someone kills his brother, no matter what,
he's going to kill them.
He has to kill them. Yeah. So
this is when the book got good again to me, is when Minerva, or not Minerva, she's House Minerva, Mustang, and I hit the mic, okay, we're back.
Yeah, first headbutt of the day.
Okay. Mustang and Darrow team up, and they got crushes on each other.
Oh yeah, they're crushing hard. First she nurses him back to health, then he's like, let me do a little nursing of my own, because she gets sick just as soon as he gets better. So they're up in the Highlands nursing each other, which that'll make anybody want to go.
Milk all around.
And so
A very polite sex.
Yeah. And then they went, thank you.
Curtsy and a bow.
That was very nice.
Yeah. Tip of the hat to you, my lady.
So they gather like an army of people. They're like, you won't be slaves.
Yeah, they do. They earn people's trust, and then they free them from the. They start breaking all the rules of the game.
Yeah, which is cool as hell. It's very cool.
And we find out that the Proctors have all taken bribes, so that this spooky guy, the Jackal, who is the son of the arch
governor of Mars,
who killed Eo's. Who killed Eo, which is Darrow's wife.
Yeah, so the guy who killed Darrow's wife, his son is basically. They were set in opposites, and then he finds out that the Proctors have been guiding their governor's son. It makes sense that it would be rigged.
Yeah, so they found
their leader.
Yeah, they find out the game's rigged, and that's when Darrow goes sicko mode, and he's like, "We are going to fucking destroy the whole game." Kind of.
They're basically like, we're not fighting each other. We're gonna get all these other students on our side, and then we're gonna go fight. fight the proctors.
Which was like, hell yeah, when they got to that point, that was so nice.
Oh, it was so cool. And by this time, like, Severo is like such a cool character.
He was just like, yeah, he's a little weird, and he's going off into the woods and is like living as a wolf for like 98% of
and they
the
like
book.
casually mention, they're like, is he tripping on mushrooms? And he's like, yeah, I'm on mushrooms, mate. Like,
he like yeah, and so
he's got no eye. There's also a guy named Pax. When he died, I was really sad.
oh my god, I got so sad when Pax died. I'm honestly like going through this plot, I'm like, I'm tired. It's like so many switches, and I felt like I had no problem following it in the book, just rehashing it. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, like, wait, no, this happened. Yeah.
It's like fucked up chess.
Yeah. Well, okay, and then so basically...
So regular chess? Okay.
Regular chess. Like Harry Potter chess or whatever it is, when they have to...
Wizard chess?
The wizard chess. Is that what it's just called?
I think it's just, J.K. Rowling
she got tired.
She was like, she said that the wizards in Harry Potter's didn't have toilets. They would just apparate their poop somewhere else or something.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you need to shut the fuck up.
Just make him have toilets.
It's like, it's okay, dude. It's okay.
They can shit. It's fine. Wizards poop too.
Yeah, it's like, what are they doing? Just like squatting in the middle of a ball. Like, oh, got to take a piss.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling was like, actually, they don't piss or shit. Fuck you.
God, she's so annoying. She's a nightmare woman.
Yeah. And the trans experience.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
she's a TERF.
Yeah.
She's an annoying TERF. So
anyway, basically they end up conquering all the other houses, and then they decide, fuck this, we're going to go straight to Olympus. The only houses they don't conquer are Darrow's own, Mars, and Pluto, where the jackal is.
And they don't need to conquer Mars. By the time Darrow gets back there, Cassius has run things in the ground. Everyone's so happy to see him.
They're all pumped. And then this is an annoying part, but I guess he kind of like calls himself on it. Mustang gets she gets kidnapped. So the final scene is a damsel in distress thing where he's like...
It didn't bother me.
I know. But
it bothered you?
On the reread, I was like, oh, come on. But
it's a little obvious.
Yeah. It's like the one thing that he needed to finally be like, that's it. I'm going to go kill all the proctors.
Yeah.
And so he does. He goes up there and he doesn't kill them all, but
they take him captive.
Yeah, by power of numbers, it's 50 to 1 at this point, basically. And then he does end up killing Apollo.
How many kids do you think there were there in total?
I think 120, and then there's 100 in each. There's 100 in each house.
Oh, so there's a lot of kids.
There's 100 in each house before the passage, and then there's 50 in each house. So it's 50 times 12.
600?
Yeah, 600 kids.
I'm so fucking smart.
Dang, that was quick.
I just did that.
So yeah, there's 600 kids. So Darrow's and basically they take over Olympus. Darrow rescues Mustang.
Yeah.
And then his proctor, Darrow's proctor,
Flitchner. I loved him.
Yeah, Fitchner.
Oh, whoops.
I like the extra L in there.
Flitchner. I don't know what's
it's always
going
fun
on,
because I feel like I do audiobooks and you read, and the audiobooks,
the big divide.
I feel like the audiobooks, the author's probably like, no, you say the name that way.
Yeah, so, but I just added an L. That's kind of in my own brain.
So I get the real pronunciations, and then you get the fun part though, because I feel like that was half the fun of reading books, is just being like, I'll say it however I want. Fuck you. I look at the shape of that word, and that fucking Flitchner.
Yeah, I was like, this is a rhombus word, so I add a L.
Yeah, how do you say his name? Is it Darrow Al Andromedus?
I truly have just been like, he's Darrow, and I like. Okay,
Major kick.
Chris just absolutely kicked the mic stand.
We're good.
I kind of like glaze over when I was reading it all the different Roman pronunciations.
I know,
because I'm not gonna remember them. I'm like, oh whatever, you're oh whatever, blah blah blah. First names is good for me.
Yeah, just Darrow Mustang. All right, we're good. Darrow Mustang Severo. That's all you need to remember.
Yeah, I love Severo so much.
He's a feisty little fella.
And so he sends his crush to go take down the jackal, and then Fitchner reveals, dude, you're about to get betrayed because that's his twin sister.
Yeah, your crush is the jackal's twin sister and the daughter of the guy who killed your wife.
But here's the thing. She kind of drops these hints about a brother and how her brother died and families change and all this stuff, and she had a brother who died, but in a way, it seems like the jackal's so sociopathic and crazy. He dropped a mine. They ate people to survive. Yeah. Like, he's sick. People are, like, missing fingers and stuff in his camp. He
cuts off his own hand.
Yeah.
They end up trapped. That's a little... We skipped over that part, but that's when Pax dies. The jackal kills him. Anyway, after cutting off his own hand.
is pretty intense. And so I was kind of thinking when when the bomb is dropped, essentially, that it's his twin sister, I'm like, I think she's thinking about how she has no brothers at all anymore.
Yeah.
Because would you want to grow up with a brother like that?
Not at all.
No, me
neither. Yeah. Me no.
No.
I love.
I don't want a brother like that.
I love my brother.
This is going baby voice.
I love you, my brother. Sorry, that's actually how he. Never mind. He had a speech impediment.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
But now it sounds like it's kind of like cute.
Now it's gone. He doesn't have a speech impediment. He's a full adult man.
Is it like a sweet thing where you like say it to each other, or that you're just truly making fun of him?
I feel like I don't know. I think at this point he's fine with it. But when he first was like over the speech impediment, he was like, "Don't mention it. I conquered that. Bring it up again. I'll fucking kill you."
My brother, when my dad is British, and every time we go to England, my brother will start talking in a British accent. He can't help it. I don't know what it is, but
yeah, that'll happen.
I like teased him once for it, and he got so angry at me.
That happens to me, kind of. I don't even mean to. I'll do it and I'll be like talking to someone who like English is their second language, and I start like kind of doing their accent back to them.
Well,
and
I think that's a normal human thing. It's like we mirror each other to be more comfortable.
Yeah, it's bad. I met someone who did a semester in Ireland, and then they came back. They came back and they're like, "Yeah, I was over in Ireland, and now we've got this crazy accent." And I'm like, "You're fuck you."
That is so funny.
That's not how you talk.
I studied abroad. Did you know?
I was in Ireland, and now we've got an Irish accent.
That's so funny.
But yeah, so we're leaving him hanging here. Mustang goes, and there's no betrayal. Yeah,
she shows up, and I remember reading this part and being like, "Darrow, you dumbass. She's not gonna fucking betray you. Like, she has been nothing. Like, I mean, it's obviously. I mean, I can't talk. He has clearly changed as the game has changed him. Like, there's a huge chunk where we barely hear about EO, and then she comes back to him in his dreams when he kind of leaves House Mars and is with
Mustang.
With Mustang, which is really sweet. And then
the guilt kind of eats at him a little bit.
Yeah, but you also like he kind of remembers who he is. Like, he's obviously gone through this insane physical change, and now he's like mentally changing too. And he kind of like is worried about getting betrayed, and he has all these. He's just more jaded, I guess, by the end of the book, and he's like more gold than not.
Yeah,
to me.
I know. That becomes a big battle for him in the later books. There are 4 more.
4? I thought it was a trilogy.
Yeah, there's a trilogy, and then it starts again 10 years after the trilogy.
Oh God!
And that one's really cool because there's multiple point of views.
Oh, that's nice.
Like Mustang is one of the point of view characters. Darrow is one of them, and then I can't give any others away because it's spoilers.
Okay, I get it. I feel like the way he wrote this book was like every sentence was very short. Like it's like chop, 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 chop.
I kind of liked it.
Same.
It was Spartan. It was Spartan. Some books I'm like, okay, dude, like we get it. You know all the big words. Like cool, maladroitly. Do I need to hear that word again?
I do not know what that means.
That means you like land in a crouch.
What?
Yeah, he's like he landed maladroitly. It's
That's
basically
insane.
like it's basically it's like athletically for fucking nerds.
That is the most I'm cutting you off because I'm so mad. That was the most mismatched word to the definition I've ever experienced.
Well, who you should be mad at is Brandon Sanderson because he uses that book in every one of his books.
He uses that book in every one of his books.
Word. I'm good. I'm good with the words.
Brandon Sanderson is like one long syllable, like syllabic phrase.
Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so what happens is Mustang brings back her brother over her horse, naked and bound. And
yeah, I wanted to know what she did. I was like, what the heck did she do?
I know that was kind of a plot. I wish we could have been like, quick jump over to Mustang and see how she fucking did that, because she's badass. She's super cool.
I would have definitely said cut 90% of what happens between Cassius and Titus and Darrow, and then give us a little bit more at the end, because I felt like the last chunk of them, Olympus, the betrayal, and then ended up what happens to him after the game happened so fast. My head was spinning.
Basically what happens at the end of the game is all of the leaders of Mars come down and start accepting, fealty, and like they offer apprenticeships to people who performed admirably in the Institute. Yeah, so the game is essentially over. Darrow wins, so he's got the first pick of the draft. And essentially, it's like football. This book is about fantasy football. Yeah, so Darrow goes number 1 overall to
Arch-Governor
Nero Augustus, who murdered his wife.
Yes, and he makes him pick on the spot.
He's like, you choose now, boy.
And he's like, okay. And you know, he has conflict about choosing it, but I thought this is exactly kind of what the sons of Ares would want, is that he gets so in close with the guy who's in charge of Mars, who can then free all the Reds on Mars.
Yeah, he sidles up to the most powerful guy on the planet.
Yes.
Immediately. And who also happens to be the dad of his new girlfriend.
And the jackal, whose
and
hand
his
he
main
cut off.
enemy, whose hand he cut off, yeah. And it sets up pretty great for a second book. So next we'll be reading. No, I'm kidding.
I feel like, oh God, this. Oh wait, something I wanted to talk about is that I honestly the way they dealt with Titus when they execute him. He has Cassius execute him for raping everyone, and then later.
Oh, we find out that Titus. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say that later when they take over the Ceres fort, that his Tactus, who is like one of his soldiers, tries to rape this other girl because he got into a fight. It's like a show of power,
like a spoils of war.
Yeah, and it
barbaric.
He gets stopped, but they're like, "How do we punish him?" Well, first of all, he asked the woman he tried to assault like what she would want to do, and she's like, "Nothing."
Yeah,
which I thought was really interesting because in a parallel to like real world, it's like sending someone to jail like. One doesn't rehabilitate them. Like obviously, if someone's a danger to other people, like get them away. But like in a restorative justice framework, really what you would do is try to make the other person have empathy, understand what they did wrong, and never do it again.
Right.
And like anyway, I just thought it was really interesting because he ends up not killing this guy, beating him in front of everyone. It sets off everyone being angry, but then he then also takes the punishment, and it kind of helps form this collective. And I'm not going to say like, oh my God, it was such like a revolutionary depiction of like crime and punishment in sexual assault in fantasy, but I thought it was really interesting. And for like a man to have written this book and like have such intense depictions of rape throughout it, I did find it like a bit of a pleasant anomaly in the way that it was handled and in the way that it like relates to
it wasn't
what
casual.
I see in the real world, I guess.
It wasn't a casual punishment either. It was like 50 lashes, and then he said, now you whip me 50. He's like, and now you whip me 50 times because I failed everybody as the leader of
because
this group,
you did this.
Of this group because you didn't listen to what I had to say, or like I had my rules, and so now you've got to whip me 50 times. And it is the moment that he goes from being like kind of a leading by fear to leading by respect. Everyone
becomes addicted to him.
Oh my God, Darrow.
Yeah, Darrow took the lashes.
Wow, it's a muscular little back right there.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so all right. Yeah, it ends. It sets up for the next one. And this is what sucks about this book being the first book.
I see.
Is that now we go into the whole world. And it's all of the planets. It's not just Mars. Darrow's in...
I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Darrow's in space. He gets to learn how to use a razor, which is like the lightsaber of the world. It's like a whip lightsaber. It's so cool. And then like it's just all these things happen. You get introduced to all these like
political factions
and like groups of like knights.
Gris I just called you Gris. Gris has like a massive diagram right now. He's sprinting from side to side.
I got a bunch of red yarns. You see, there's the Rage Knight, and then there's the Protean Knight, and then there's Aja Al Grimace. That's the real bad guy. You'll see her. She's cool as hell. And then
okay. No, I can't wait.
I like started doing the act out, and then it became very much real.
No, I did feel like I do want to read the rest of these books. Is how I felt.
And you see, by the time he's like writing the 5th and 6th books, you're like, these are adult books.
He's
you're an
30.
adult. You're an adult writing these now. Like they're more consistent. He's a stronger writer and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. But,
overall, I really like this book, and I probably wouldn't have read it. Well, maybe if I was younger, I would have read it on my own.
It's definitely
it's like YA for sure.
Yeah, this one's young adult, and that's what I'm saying. Like by the time we get to the 4th and 5th and 6th, it's like, it's not quite young adult anymore. But yeah. Let's play the games.
Marry, fuck, kill.
Okay. I guess should we include Darrow? I mean,
do you want to include him?
I'd fine.
I mean, tell me your hesitation.
Because he feels like he's the main character.
I think we have to include him.
Okay, all right.
But you don't have to pick him.
All right, so marry Darrow. Because he's a great husband.
He is. Yeah,
he's a very loyal partner. Simple. He just wants to settle down with some kids. It sounds good. And then I'd say fuck Quinn? I don't know who
She misses and she gets an ear cut off. She seems really cute.
she's real like fast, and everyone talks about how hot she is. I feel like. And then I would fucking kill. I'm thinking of people who survived the book.
There's so many options of people to
Okay,
kill.
never mind. I want to marry Severo, and then I'm gonna fucking kill Tactus just because he's annoying as hell.
Yeah.
And I'm still fucking.
Okay, so Darrow's kind of out for you.
Yeah, Darrow's out.
Yeah, I think Darrow's
just-
out for me too. He's too stressful. I mean, he's got a lot going on in his head. I don't know.
Severo's nice and loyal.
Yes. No. See, you took my pick.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was gonna say, like, probably marry Severo, but he's also crazy. No, you know what? I'd marry Mustang.
Okay.
Fuck Severo.
She's a genius.
And I would kill the Octavia, whatever, the sovereign, therefore ending the series and achieving the goals, achieving the goals of the Sons of Ares.
And then I would kill Octavia because I am a Sons of Ares.
Yeah. No, I think I would kill.
Well, that's a good choice.
I know.
It's a good reason.
I would kill the Jackal actually because he freaks me out, man.
Yeah, he's scary.
Did not like him at all.
No,
one bit.
actually.
Not one bit.
Well, yeah. So hell yeah, that was Red Rising by Pierce Brown.
Mm-hmm. I want to know when exactly he read Hunger Games.
I know. Was it right before?
He's like, I've never even heard that book.
What if he read it right after and he was like, fuck it,
yeah,
what the fuck?
He's like, let me go back and add more space.
He's like, teenage dystopian death high school was my idea.
Yeah.
So for our next episodes, we're not doing books. Episodes, we're gonna do some.
We're gonna take a little break.
Overall, like talking about fantasy in general and some tropes and some conspiracies that we might have for certain worlds.
Yeah. Something a little milky.
It's gonna get milky.
The most disgusting sentence ever said on radio. It's gonna get milky.
It's gonna get milky.
And we catch us on NPR.
Yeah, it's gonna catch us on NPR and at the Lincoln Lodge
where we record.
And there's shows 7 nights a week here. Check them out online.
All right. Well, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.